Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be talking about my August favorites, so things that I've been loving for the past month. Now I will say this month I had to pre-film quite a few videos to prep for being out of town. So I have a lot of products that I'm not going to mention in this video that are almost going to qualify as favorites. I just honestly haven't had enough time to use them multiple times. So the things that I chose are things that I've been able to use several times and have really loved. So if you're wondering like, oh my gosh, Ellie, you tried so much makeup this month and where is all of that in your favorites video? That's why I will probably just move it over into my September favorites once I'm able to try a couple of things for a little bit longer. But with that being said, I have discovered quite a few incredible products, and actually I'm also incorporating some products that I keep forgetting to put in favorites videos. So things like that will be in here as well. Also, you guys, I wanted to let you know because in the next, several videos for the next few months, I might talk a little bit different just because I actually am starting Invisalign. So my teeth weren't completely crooked, but I stopped wearing my retainers after I got my wisdom teeth out like over 6 years ago. And my teeth have slowly been moving. And so before it gets too bad, I want to kind of just get back into a routine of wearing my retainers and kind of, putting things back to where they were. So right now I don't have the actual trays in. I will probably be wearing them in future videos though, so just a heads up, I barely got the little buttons put on. There's like little tiny things that they attach to your teeth that kind of help them move, and I just got those on yesterday, so I feel like I'm getting used to them, and I'm sure I'll get used to them in a few days only. But yeah, I'll probably be wearing retainers in the next few videos for the next couple of months. All right, let's get into my favorites. So first things first, I have been really enjoying a sunscreen from Kate Somerville. This is the Daily Deflector Mineral Sunscreen. It's an SPF 40. This is a mineral sunscreen, which you guys probably know, and if you don't know, I prefer mineral sunscreens just for my acne-prone skin. I have really loved this one, and I find that it actually lays really well underneath my foundations, and yeah, I just keep reaching for it. It's really beautiful. It's a nice mineral formula, but I feel like it doesn't leave a white cast. It takes a minute, just like a lot of mineral sunscreens, to really warm it up into your face, but it doesn't leave any white cast, which is really great. I am a sunscreen fanatic, so I actually have probably 5 to 7 mineral sunscreens in my drawer right now upstairs in my bathroom, and I literally alternate through them like foundations, just depending on what I'm looking for, depending on if I want a little bit of a tint, or if I want something more mattifying, or if I want something more hydrating. I switch my sunscreens up like I do foundations, and this one has been a go-to for me recently. I find that it just balances the skin as well. It's not too hydrating, it's not too mattifying, it's right in the middle. So I've really been enjoying it. Next up is a product that I'm so happy that I bought. It's this right here, the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. There's nothing quite like this formula in my personal collection. While it is a pricier product for the drugstore, I think this retails for around $20, which is not drugstore price at that point in my opinion. But that's how drugstore things are getting nowadays, and so anyway, I do feel like it's worth the 20 bucks though, because it is such a unique formula. So I did a whole review video this month on this. I will have that link down below. I've been able to wear this several times since. I've tried it mixed into foundations. I've tried it underneath foundations. It's actually what I'm wearing all over the skin right now, but I did use a more full coverage concealer, which we will get into in a little bit. So that's where you see a little bit more coverage. This is definitely a light coverage product, but it actually covers things pretty well. If you watch my review video, you'll see that it really does even out the skin tone, which is great. So I personally prefer this on like an everyday basis. A little bit goes a long way. You really don't need that much. This is not a product that you want to build up, I've noticed. You kind of just want to use a sheer layer and really buff it into the skin. I find, just like with any foundation, I love applying this with a brush and then a sponge. However, it does say that you can use your fingers if that's a method that you prefer. I just think it leaves the skin looking so fresh and so healthy. It also wears really well throughout the day, and yeah, it's just different than any other product in my collection. The only con, and every time I use it, this happens, because of the dropper, and it's actually a little bit of a thicker formula that clings onto the sides of the dropper. Every time I put it back in the bottle, I always scrape it on the outside, and it gets product on the like outer rim, if that makes sense. So it's a little bit messy that way. That's my only complaint. I wish it was a pump, not a dropper, but I can see why they wanted it to feel more serum-y than a foundation. Anyway, it's a gorgeous product that I've been really, really loving, and I know a lot of you guys have been enjoying it as well. Great for every day. It's a great, like, quick pick-me-up kind of a complexion product. Next up is a foundation that I've been wearing for a couple of months now, but I wanted to put it in a favorites video because it really is such a beautiful foundation. This is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear Foundation. This is an older foundation, like it's been around for a while. I tried it a few years ago, and that was when I had pretty active breakouts, and so I was looking for a specific formula back then. So I tried it for a while. I didn't really use it that much, and then I revisited it like a couple of months ago, and it is so beautiful. I love that you can sheer it out if you want to, but you can also build it up to have a pretty beautiful full coverage. It is more of a mattifying finish, but you can manipulate that by using something more dewy underneath, and I find that it works really great. But I just really like how this wears on the skin. It feels really lightweight as well. I actually did my sister's makeup the other day, and I used this foundation, and it was so nice to be able to see it on someone else because I mean, I look at my skin up close usually, and I'm really, really picky and nitpicky about how my complexion products look, but it was really fun to be able to put this on someone else's face and be able to see it from that perspective, if that makes sense, and it looked really gorgeous on her. It looked so pretty in pictures as well, so just wanted to mention that in my favorites video finally, even though I've been using it for a couple of months. It's actually interesting, I have quite a few products in the same category this month. So I actually have 3 concealer type products to share with you guys, but they're all different in my opinion. This is one that I've been using for a few months now, and I kept forgetting to put it in a favorites video, so I'm going to now. This is the Rodial Banana Lowlighter. It is like a concealer product, but it has a little bit more of a yellow undertone, so it's meant to be more, it's called a complexion enhancer. I think it's supposed to be more of like a highlighter product that kind of brightens the skin. I exclusively use this underneath the eyes. I actually put a little bit on today, and I love using it as a concealer on no makeup days. So for example, I would totally layer these two together on like a no makeup day just to kind of create like a soft, sheer amount of coverage that brightens up the under eyes a little bit. But this is also really nice to kind of cancel out any darkness before going into concealer. So that's what I did today. Rodial is not the cheapest brand, and I don't receive PR from them. So everything Rodial that I use, I buy myself. So even though it is a little bit of a splurge, I spent my money on it, and I am glad that I did. It's a really beautiful product, super high quality formula, and it looks amazing underneath the eyes. It doesn't weigh the under eyes down, which is great. I also wanted to mention the Lancome Teint Idole Concealer, which is like the sister product to the foundation. I have been using this like crazy as well. This is a really beautiful, really thin formula, but very pigmented, like full coverage concealer, which I love for underneath the eyes. I also love using it on blemishes. I actually used this on blemishes today. So again, I used the L'Oreal serum to kind of create a little bit of a smoother canvas all over the face, but then I used this concealer on blemishes, and I actually used another concealer underneath the eyes, but really amazing formula. I've been really enjoying that one as well. I've also been loving the Hailey's Beauty Rewind Concealer. This is one that has a little bit of like a moussier formula. I love the applicator on here. I wear the shade Fair Neutral, and it's a perfect shade for my under eyes. It's actually what I have underneath my eyes right now. This one does dry a little bit more like moussey. It's not powdery necessarily, and I should mention that the Lancome one does also dry matte, but this one starts out more watery, this one starts out more moussey. So they are very different formulas, but I've been loving both for underneath the eyes. This is the one that I have primarily under the eyes, and I just feel like that does a great job at like smoothing the under eye area and also the T-zone a little bit. I applied it in the T-zone to highlight. Really incredible, very high quality formula. Hailey's Beauty is really good at a lot of complexion products. They kind of specialize in complexion, so this concealer is really beautiful and it wears well on me too. This month I also discovered the Pixi H2O Skin Veil Powder. I have mine in the shade Translucent. It's actually a pretty small container, but you don't need very much at all. I love this for underneath the eyes. I use this underneath the eyes for some reason. This combo right here, which I actually tried out initially in a video, this combo was amazing because this gives you that kind of moussey whipped full coverage under eye without weighing the under eyes down. This just sets it perfectly with a light amount of powder, but it kind of brightens as well. It is such a beautiful formula. I love this. I believe it comes in 2 shades because the translucent one is pretty light. Like on me, it does give a slight brightening effect. So if you have medium to deep skin tones, they do have a second shade. So just depending on your skin tone, you might choose the other shade if this one is a little too brightening. But I love how indetectable this is underneath the eyes. It is so beautiful. Definitely not something that I've been using all over the face necessarily, but as an under eye powder, it is gorgeous. And I also have tried this over top of a few concealers, and it's worked on every concealer that I've tried so far. I really, really love that. Another product from Rodeo that I've been trying for a long time and haven't mentioned in a favorites video yet is this glass powder. It's a loose setting powder, and it's what I have all over the rest of my face. So this one has a little bit of a deeper hue to it. It's not super deep, but it's not white, if you can see that. It's more of like a beige color. And so for me, I use this underneath the eyes. It's beautiful, but it doesn't give the brightening effect that I am liking these days. So I've actually been using this all over the rest of the face, which is what I did today. I used the Pixie underneath the eyes and this all over the rest of the face. It just gives the most beautiful kind of glass skin look, but it's not super sparkly. It has the slightest amount of shimmer, a perfect amount of shimmer in my opinion, and it also smooths out the skin. It's a gorgeous formula. Again, not the cheapest, but I'm glad that I bought this. It's a really, really nice powder. I've been really enjoying it. Next up, we're going to be talking about 2 blushes that I love. The first one is from Milani, this Coral Cove Rose Powder Blush. This is not a new product to Milani by any means, but I picked it up at the drugstore last month and finally tried it out in a video earlier this month, and it is so pretty. It's what I'm wearing toward the back of the cheeks. It's such a nice layering blush, which I really love, but today I mixed it with my other current favorite blush, which is this one right here from Kylie Cosmetics, which they just recently did like a rebrand or like a formula revamp basically. So they brought back some of their blush shades to start, and this is the shade Winter Kissed. So I actually mixed the Milani one and this one on the cheeks, and I love the color that it made. I focused the Winter Kissed one more on the apples of the cheeks and the Milani one more toward the hairline, I guess, right here. I really love this. This is something that I bought not too long ago, but I've been using it basically every day as like a layering blush. I think both of these work well as a layering blush. What I mean by that is like applying something a little bit more muted toward the back of the cheeks and then layering up one of these colors on the apples of the cheeks a little closer to the eye for just like a little pop of freshness. Loving these 2 blushes like crazy. I also fell in love with the Neutrogena Hydrating Setting Spray. This is something that I picked up online at Target when I bought the L'Oreal True Match serum foundation, and I tried it out earlier and it's been sitting on my desk ever since, and I've been using it like crazy. This seems like, well, I thought it would be, since it's a hydrating setting spray, I thought that it would be something super dewy and almost oily feeling, if that makes sense, but it's not at all. I'm wearing it today and it like smooths out the face really well, but it doesn't feel tight or locked down like other setting sprays do. It's a beautiful formula, and I feel like the little spray on it is pretty fine. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but just know that it's a pretty good little mist on it. I'm always looking for good new products from the drugstore, and it's been a while since I found a high quality setting spray. So yeah, I've been really, really into this one. I've got a couple more products to share with you guys. 1 fragrance and 1 hair product. So we're gonna go into fragrance next. I have a new obsession. Well, new as in a few months ago. So I discovered this fragrance brand called Dead Cool, and they are so amazing. If you don't know, I'm very picky with fragrances. I get headaches very easily. I sneeze when some fragrances are sprayed on me and like they're too strong. So I have to find the right formula first of all, but then also the right scent. I'm not someone who I feel like can get away with a large variety of scents. I'm very picky, and so Dead Cool came along and I wore the Glossier You perfume for like 3 years straight. It feels like, maybe that's an exaggeration, but for years, that was all I wore. I still love that perfume, by the way, and I still have a bottle that I use regularly, but I wanted to kind of bounce off of that feeling of a fragrance. And I found Dead Cool. I tried 2 of their fragrances, Madonna Lily and the Layering Milk. Love those so much. And then I actually got samples of some of their other ones because I loved them so much, and I bought a full bottle of this right here, fragrance number 1, or it's called Taunt. It is phenomenal, you guys. So I never have headaches when I wear these. They smell so complex and so unique, but they don't overwhelm me. I am obsessed. It's so interesting because I used to not really like sweet or warm scents. I preferred something a little more fresh. This one is definitely a little bit warm. Let me see what the notes are because it's so hard to like describe these by myself. Okay, so it says the top notes are bergamot and fresh dew. Middle notes are floral and cassis. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And then the bottom notes are vanilla and amber. Okay, so that makes sense. So the vanilla and amber, the more warm notes are the base, so it's not too overpowering. I'm obsessed with the smell though. If you haven't tried Dead Cool before, you have to, you guys. They do these little sample tins where you can like choose your samples. So it's a great way to just kind of get a feel for a nice fragrance or what works best for you. I originally discovered Madonna and the Milk Layering through their fragrance quiz on their site, and it was like dead on. I am obsessed with this brand if you can't tell. Months ago, they actually gave me a discount code for you guys, so it's Allie 15, I believe. I will have that in the description box. This is not sponsored, by the way, just a humongous fan of Dead Cool. So yeah, if you want to try it, I do have a code with them, but I'm so happy that I bought the Taunt fragrance, and also I should mention they are amazing layered on top of each other as well. So yeah, been loving that. And then last but not least, I have this brand new dry shampoo that launched this month from Living Proof. This is the Perfect Hair Day Advanced Clean Dry Shampoo. I've tried other dry shampoos from Living Proof. I liked them, but I didn't love them as much as this one. This one is one of the most unique dry shampoos I've ever tried. Basically, in their little paper that they sent with this in PR, they said something about how they were trying to recreate the feeling of you actually shampooing your hair. So instead of like a dry shampoo just adding more product and buildup to your scalp and making it feel more textured than clean, if that makes sense, this actually feels like you washed your hair. I don't know how they did this, but basically you just spray it in your hair. It says to wait 30 seconds, which I do. I kind of spray it all over. I'll tie my hair up and just let it sit for a while, and then I'll massage it into the scalp and like kind of flip my hair over and brush it, and it makes your hair so silky. It gets rid of every last bit of oil without drying out your scalp. It's such a good formula, one of the best dry shampoos I've ever tried. Again, this will make your hair feel more like silky versus textured. So if you're looking for something that's gonna kind of give you volume or add more texture to your hair to hold style, I wouldn't say that this does that. It definitely says softness and shine on the front because it really does kind of just soften your hair and make it feel and look very clean. So really like this. I personally have been layering 2 products, so I'll use this to like get rid of any excess oil and make my hair feel clean. And if I want texture, I'll just go ahead and spray a texturizing spray on afterwards, and I find that that works great. Alright, you guys, so that completes this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Just in case people are wondering, because I always feel like people ask what I'm wearing, this is actually one of the products that I was like on the fence of being in a favorites video. I just haven't used it enough times. This NYX Ultimate Utopia palette, that's what I've got on the eyes. I'm also wearing another almost favorite product, the Ilia Fullest Volumizing Mascara, which I'm still testing out, so that's why I didn't put it in a favorites. On the lips, I have my trusty NYX Nude Beige Lip Liner, and then the Jaclyn Cosmetics Lip Oil in the shade Rose Drip, which I haven't really had a fair shot with, and I really love how this looks on the lips. So wanted to mention those because I feel like people always ask. But yeah, that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing what products I've been really loving. I feel like next month's favorites video will probably include quite a few products, but I feel like I definitely found some amazing things this month already that I was really excited to share with you guys. I would love to hear what your favorite things are currently in the comments down below. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber, but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it from me today. If you want to check out any of my favorite products, I will have them all linked down below. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye!